Whenever I see videos about resumes, what I always see is ways to get your resume past the ATS, the applicant tracking system. But what people don't cover enough is how to get the recruiter and the hiring manager's attention. In today's video, I'm going to give you the most simple and powerful way to get the attention of a recruiter when they look at your resume to get them to move you forward in the interview process. Let's go. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm a massive fan of quantifying your impact. And what that basically means is letting people know what you've done in previous roles. But quantifying it means showing them the actual impact. For example, you could say something along the lines of, at my most recent job, I improved blank by implementing blank, which had a net effect of a 30% improvement over the period of blank months, right? What you're basically doing is, I did this, by doing this, the improvement was this, over this period of time, right? You're saving your company money, you're making your company money, you're eliminating waste, you're increasing efficiency. What you're basically doing is showing them something you've accomplished previously and letting them understand the impact it made in that organization so they can imagine you making that organization for them. So that's one of the things that I always say to do. But there's actually a more simple way to do this that is way more powerful and I would argue way easier. Now, before I get to that, I want to cover a mistake I often see in resumes. One of the things I often see in resumes is people using what I call a Miss America answer. And what that is you just overloading a sentence with corporate jargon that doesn't really mean anything. So think something along the lines of proactively facilitated cross-team collaboration via distribution mechanisms that blah, right? Like you write that because you think, oh, this sounds fancy. This is corporate jargon. It's showing that I'm making a huge impact. It doesn't really say anything. There's much more powerful ways to do that. And it's pretty easy. Hey, before I get to that way, do me a quick favor. If you were liking this video, if you were finding value in it, hit that like button. It tells YouTube I don't suck. It helps the channel a ton and it motivates me to make more videos. And if you're already willing to do that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you are interested in landing your dream job and you would like to be prepped by me personally, I actually made a full interview guide. I linked it in the description box and it is basically like me coaching you to land your next job. Now, what I'm talking about is I want you to state the impact you've made, but much more plainly, much more simply. So let's just say, for example, you are a customer service person, right? You're in a customer service role, you're in a call center, inbound calls, and you're talking to a lot of people. You could find a way to dress that up in a fancy way, or you could do the math on it. Let's just say you're talking to 30 people a day. That means 150 people a week. Well, that is 7,800 people every single year. So how could you say that in a resume so that you show them your impact and it allows recruiters to look at it and go, okay, this is what they've done. So it's pretty simple. You could say something along the lines of, I solved 7,800 customers' issues with a 99% approval rating. That right there is way more powerful than it sounds. I can tell you as a recruiter, what you're going to do is you're going to look at someone's resume and you're going to scan it. And we don't spend a lot of time looking at your resume, but if you have numbers there, it stands out. A recruiter is absolutely going to look at that bullet point under your current job and understand the vast impact you have in your seat. It's also much more likely that they communicate that exact thing to the hiring manager than some random bullet points that aren't quantified, that don't have numbers, that don't really mean anything. The main point of this video is instead of using a whole bunch of corporate jargon in a run-on sentence, it is much more powerful to use numbers, to use metrics, and to cleanly state the impact you have made in your role, specifically when it is aligned to the job responsibilities and the must-haves for the role that you are applying to. If you use these techniques while you're applying to roles and they are in alignment with the job description that you are applying for, I can guarantee you it is going to increase the likelihood of you getting noticed and ultimately move forward from the recruiter. And then the hiring manager will look at that and immediately understand the type of impact you can make within their team. Now, when you get that interview, because your resume is much more powerful, you're going to need to make a good first impression. It is really important to do that. It's why I made this video here. This video here is how to get a job in 6 minutes, and it covers the 6 most important minutes of every interview, the very beginning and the very end. So I am done here, but I will see you over there.